Elizabeth, it's so great to be able to sit down with you, and I know you well, but I want others to get to know you as well. So what I'd like for you to do is just kind of share where you grew up, where you come from, what schools you've gone to, and give us a sense of who you are.
Grew up in West Michigan. Been in West Michigan most of my life, actually, kind of coming and going. Spring Lake High School, and then I went to Kettering, which was GMI at the time, and co-opted with GM. And then from there, had a great opportunity to go to Prince Corporation, which was a fantastic experience to learn leadership, to learn teamwork, to understand culture. I look back at that and think I was so blessed to have that opportunity early in my career. I think it really set me up well for thinking about what I want to do in the future and what the purpose is. And
so is there a philosophy? Maybe that's too expansive of a word, like, I'm going to write a book. It's like, no, but when you think about leadership, what comes to mind? What's great leadership for you?
When I think about leadership, I think about what my passion is towards leadership. And for me, it's about the people. If I think about what brings me meaning in my career and in being a leader, it's about making a difference for people. It's about setting an environment where people want to be, an environment where they find their gifts, find their talents, they flourish, they want to be there, they're engaged, they're enjoying being part of the mission, but they're also enjoying their teammates in the group, the camaraderie that goes with that. So if I look at how I have wanted to lead, and it's not necessarily always been that smooth. I've learned as I've gone, and some of the challenges, kind of hit you hard sometimes, and you have to readjust. But my hope has always been, and what drives me and kept me going all those years of wanting to continue and being excited about continuing in leadership, has been forming that team, seeing them flourish, seeing them develop. And knowing that they've got a good career out of that.
So I also know your career well enough to know that you've not just been here in West Michigan. What are some of the places that you've worked and some of the things that you did in those places?
So starting with GM, so very, very big company, learned a ton. I was only 18 when I started, so I had a ton to learn. But over that, 5 years of co-oping and in a great program, just learned from so many different leaders and so much about the automotive industry. And then going to Prince Corporation, so that brought me back to the west side of the state, which was why I first looked at Prince. I missed it. Tremendous opportunity. The leaders that I learned from, I don't forget any of those lessons, I don't think. I think back on it often, even though it was years ago. And in that time, a lot of different engineering roles, because I'm an engineer by degree, but kind of grew into the supervision, focus factory manager, plant manager, engineering leadership roles, and eventually director of operations with Prince. And through some great leadership programs, really blessed to have gone through the leadership study group, had coaches, and able to self-reflect even at that point in my career. And then at some point, Prince was bought by a larger company, so not as large as what I had at GM, but Johnson Controls, and whole new opportunities opened up because they were global, larger, plants everywhere. I led quality for the automotive division and moved into vice president of operations for our advanced energy. That brought me to a time period in France, which was a great experience, and then to the headquarters in Milwaukee. So spent the last 8 or so years prior to coming back to West Michigan very recently in Milwaukee, in the headquarters, leading global engineering and operations.
It's so cool that you've, literally worked around the world, seen leaders all over the place in different organizations and different countries. What, if anything, I think that I think West Michigan's this unique place.
Yeah.
How do you experience that, and how would you describe that?
It's the leaders, but it's also the culture. It's all of the workers. It is a work ethic and a culture of teamwork, and we can do this. a culture of treating each other right. You know, and I've seen very impressive places around the world, and people by and large, you know, care about each other around the world, but there is definitely something unique about West Michigan. And that was a real draw for me in always wanting to get back to West Michigan and in some way play a role in something like Leading by Design.
When I was starting to share with people that Elizabeth Rolinski's joining our team, they would just light up and say, "Elizabeth's joining your team?" And I would too. I'm just so thrilled that you're joining us, and I'm thrilled for you as well, because I think we're going to have a lot of fun working to help West Michigan become the hotbed of the best leaders in the country. So thrilled you're on our team.